Hana Dorei is disturbing. That is all. What's up, guys? Food Night Lover 47 here. Welcome to Watching for the Plot. What I essentially do is stroll through the catacombs of the darkest parts of the internet to find animated rock videos and criticize them on the internet because no one else wants to hear me talk about it in the real world. But if you do, subscribe for more. Hana Dorei is the story of an extremely successful artist's mysterious death that leads to arson, blackmail, murder, and sex. Lots and lots of sex. This is going to be a pretty short one, boys, but strap in, let's go. Episode 1. We have our extremely successful artist named Aoki, who is married to Madam. Their relationship was a typical, he was in it for the looks and she was in it for the money shallow type of thing going on there. However, since they were both freaks, they would have the most absurd sessions that would be on par with any Night Shift Nurses episode ever. And while they were in the middle of one of those vile acts, we flash to our main character here named Ayamato. He is an apprentice artist who has shown some serious potential. However, recently he has been suffering a bit of writer's block. And to relieve some tension, he would religiously watch his master and wife have sex. Oh, trust me, it gets way worse than that. Immediately after the session, we get this oddly ominous shot of the maid cutting up vegetables, and at the moment, it's just out of place and awkward to put her face there right after the session. But come episode 2, we will see why they put Kayuki, her name is Kayuki by the way, right there. So after that, we see Aoki painting and our boy Ayamato is observing. Wait, you can't call him a creep. You were just peeping through his door watching him have sex. This man is a stereotypical Reddit user, just has no awareness whatsoever. We couldn't find out that Ayamato believes he lacks passion from not having sex, and he thinks that having it will enable him to unlock his hidden potential. That's not true, but this is a hentai. What do you think happens?
そろそろお茶の時間だな。失礼します。お茶をお持ちしました。先生?
Aoki is dead, folks. Now the question and the talk of the town is who done did it. Everyone is accusing either the gold-digging madam, the useless apprentice, the whore of his sister. Their words, not mine, I swear to God. Rightfully so, because his death was completely random. And where do you think all this speculation was being held at? Days later at an undisclosed location? Or the day after he died during the funeral? I guess the tea was too hot to save it for later. After this terrible edit, we proceed to after that, when everyone leaves and Ayamato is seeing the recently widowed madam walking around with the town's doctor. And of course, since he's a creep, he follows and sees her giving the doctor money. So he immediately jumps to the conclusion that she murdered her own husband. And honestly, I can't say he shouldn't be suspicious, because handing money to a doctor while Aoki's body is still warm is insane. There's just so many implications with that right there. With the knowledge, Ayamato decides to blackmail Madam and have sex with her in the same way that Aoki would. Bondage, torture, etc, etc, etc. And while that was happening, Kayuki, the seemingly innocent maid who was making bamboo shoot rice, does this.
"こいつはいいな。ずっしりと重いよ。
絵は描いてないみたいですね。
え？今、ちょっとスランプなんだよ。先生が亡くなってまだ間もないんだぞ。仕方ないだろ。
でも、先生は綾本さんが一日でも早く立派な絵描きになることを望んでいらっしゃると思いますけど。
そんなこと分かってるよ。君は絵に関して部外者なんだから、ほっといてくれよ。
Ayamato goes back to Madam to continue where he left off. So essentially he's replacing his master's role in everything. Episode 2. Now that Ayamato has filled his master's shoes and pleasuring the matriarch of the household, her sister Karen, you know, the whore, in their words, is starting to get jealous for some odd reason. And this was his response to that. Afterwards, we come to find out why Dr. Horibe was paid a handsome amount.
堀部先生がお見えになりました。
何のご用かしら。お通ししてちょうだい。やめてください。 例の件ならもうお話がついているはずです。
確かに口止め料はいただきましたよ。ご主人がヒ素による毒殺だったことに関してはね。私には偽の診断書を書いた分を請求する権利がある。
Yep, Madam gets violated again. Jesus Christ.
まあ、あんたのそういうところが男心をくすぐるんだけどね。それじゃ今日はこの辺で。
Perfect revenge for being violated, yes. But she didn't do it. How do I know that? Well, I mean, how would she be able to do so if the doctor would just immediately stop her from leaving the room so she can't snitch? Then who killed the doctor?
あなたがやったの？
はい。
殺すなんて。
これ以上奥様にご迷惑をおかけするわけには参りません。
あなたなのね。
申し訳ありません。
でも、どうしてあなたが主人を殺す必要があったの？
先生は、青木十一郎は私の父なんです。
So not only did she murder the doctor, but she also murdered her husband as well. Get this, Aoki was Kayuki's father. Now the obvious question is, why would she murder her own father? It's a hentai, you figure it out. So after such jaw-dropping information has been revealed, Kayuki decides to talk about what they should do next since there's a dead doctor in the next room. The plan was to just hide the body elsewhere on the property, and before they got to that, Kayuki had to understand the relationship between Madam and Ayamato. Because, well, you see, she loves that man despite knowing that he is essentially doing the same thing the doc did to Madam. So with that information at hand, Kayuki decides to drop her Uno reverse trap card and tell him that Madam doesn't really love him, that he should focus on his art, because she wants him to flourish.
奥様とのことやめた方がいいわ。
気づいてたのか。
奥様が綾本さんのこと愛していると思っているの？
愛？そんなつもりはないけどさ。ま、似たような感情かな。お互いなくてはならない存在であることは確かだね。
違う！
え？
あなたは身近にいたただの便利な男なの。特別な存在でも何でもないのよ。
なんでそんなことがわかるんだよ。
After yet another passionate speech between the two, the cops pull up relatively quickly because the doctor is a prominent figure in that town. And of course, Madam's lying her ass off, and Ayamato is none the wiser because, well, he's none the wiser. So the cops leave, but they're going to come back soon because they want to question Kayuki alone because she's seeming really suspicious to them. And during that intermission time, Ayamato, Karen, and Madam decide to have a threesome, and this scene happens.
汗びっしょりだ。一休みして風呂に入ってくるよ。
ダメ。あなたの汗は私が舐めてきれいにしてあげる。お風呂に入るなんて絶対許さないわよ。
私にも舐めさせて。
I can't even describe what this is. If you were to show this to anyone with no context, like a normal person, they wouldn't be talking to you for quite some time. Ayamato leaves the sisters be because he's exhausted, and they continue to have sex despite being tortured for hours on end. Clearly they have lost their minds, and while they were having sex, they knock down a candle and begin to burn down the entire building. You could say that their fiery passion ends up sparking a new flame in the house. And this timing could not be any better because, as I mentioned before, the cops did come back and are questioning Kayuki alone, and right when she was about to crack, the fire is at full force. So they go see what's happening, just abandon the interview, and Ayamato is painting? Yes, this man is sitting there watching them burn in the heat of the moment. Last one, I swear. Drawing something. What is he drawing? Them dying. So apparently, this is what he needed to fuel his passion in art. And when it was done, the two sisters obviously died. I mean, look at this aftermath. Ooh. And when the cops came by, they decided to rule them as the people who murdered Dr. Haribe because they found the doctor's remains as well on the property. So instead of investigating any further, Kayuki gets away with it. And now she lives with Ayamato, who became an extremely successful artist just like his master Aoki was. And the end. So that slow, out of place pan of Kayuki was there to show her disgust to Madam and Aoki having sex freely. She seeks revenge on her father because 1, he violated her, and 2, Aoki married another woman and caused ex-wife, Kayuki's birth mother, to commit suicide. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I don't have an outro, but if I did, it wouldn't matter because no one else makes this far in the video. Good night.